Hi guys, in this episode of Ray Decay, I'm gonna be continuing with my reaction to 17's Face the Sun album. Currently we are on the final 4 songs of the album, those being Shadow, Bout You, If You Leave, and Ash. And again, just like in the first reaction to this album that we did, I want to thank one of my first ever subscribers to the channel, Ruth Delfino, for requesting me to react to this album, especially because I've actually really enjoyed it so far, surprisingly. I didn't think that it was going to be this entertaining and the songs were going to be that good based on my experience with K-pop albums this year in general and 17's other albums. I expected maybe I would like 1 or 2 songs, but I was not expecting that all of the songs so far would be so enjoyable, so I'm hoping that this trend continues for these final 4 songs. But there's only one way to find out whether that's going to be the case, so without further ado, let's just straight up start it off with the next song, Shadow, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so far we're definitely still following the trend of like a very different song, but still very high quality. Also, this one has a slight title track vibe to it as well, so I like that. What? Oh my god, I love this album. God damn. This is straight up the best 17 album ever. I'm gonna have a hard time listening to this album after this, because so many of these songs are so good, man. This one is another like that, like, what the hell? I didn't know this was this good. I love this part here where it goes into kind of like a acoustic guitar. Mwah, so good. Okay, this might be actually my favorite song of this album so far. God damn. Domino so far is definitely the weakest one. I really like Mingyu's voice. Oh man, this easily could have been the title track in my eyes. I fucking love this song. This one is a 10 out of 10. I love it. It's fast-paced, it's energetic, it's emotional, it's melancholic, it has great rapping. This is like a perfect song for me, man. I don't want it to be over. Please give me more. Oh man. This was really good. And here I was slightly worried that the rest of the album was not gonna live up to the first part of it, but goddamn, how are we so far 5 for 5? Like, what the hell? This is straight up the best album I've checked out this year. Straight up, because even though there is some other albums that I have enjoyed, or at least grown to enjoy quite a lot, like Stray Kids' Ordinary. This is the first one for which I have no caveats for the songs and why I enjoy them. It's so good, and it's so, I don't know, straightforwardly good. Because like I said, for the Stray Kids album Ordinary, I had some issues because it didn't sound like a Stray Kids album, honestly. Whereas here, it sounds like a 17 album, and it's fucking amazing, and I love it. And like I said, this song is gonna be a 10 out of 10. It has it all. It's so fucking good. I flipping love it. I'm so gonna be playing the shit out of this album so far. I've never... I mean, to be honest, I've never really listened to 17's B-sides much. I've reacted to some on the channel, I've reacted to some album of theirs on the channel, but I've never really delved into their B-sides much. So, I don't really have much of an opinion on them, but goddamn, I did not expect this to be so good. Like, based on my experience with their last album, which was kinda weak, outside of like 2-1, it feels like they kind of shoved all of the quality and interesting stuff into that song and kind of neglected the rest. That's kind of how it comes off for me. But in this case, there's so many songs and they're all so good. Now without a doubt, I know that the rest of the album, the last 3 songs, are still going to be just as good as this. And I honestly want to listen to this one a second time, but I don't have the time to do that, so we're not going to. But I just want to tell you that if I didn't have so much work to do for the channel today, I would have reacted to it the second time because it's really goddamn good. And like I said, 10 out of 10. So yeah, let's get into the next song, Bout You, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's building up. I really hope the chorus is pretty good. Okay, so far this is for me probably my least favorite of the album, but I still think it's a quality song. Like, I don't think the quality has dipped, it's just what they're going for has changed, and I don't enjoy this as much. It's still a decently catchy song, it's just the playfulness is not something I really vibe with much. Okay, this is the one time I'm kind of glad that the song is kind of short, because it's not really too much of an enjoyable song for me. Like, the playfulness just, I don't vibe with it, but the quality is still up there, and I continue to be shocked at how consistently high quality this album is. Because if you've seen my reactions to albums before that I've done, like, I'm always surprised whenever an album is like very consistently high quality, because I feel like in K-pop, like 8 times out of 10, the albums are just kind of filler and don't really live up to any of the quality expected after listening to the title track. But this is one of the albums where it actually is very consistent. But the thing is, I have experience with 17 B-sides to know that that is not like the common experience necessarily. So I'm not really too crazy about the idea of reacting to more of their B-sides, like starting to react to all of their B-sides from the beginning. But if this video gets enough attention and likes and the like, I might do it sooner rather than later. Otherwise, I'll probably wait to get through the groups that I'm reacting to at the moment in terms of like album reactions, because right now I am reacting to or planning to react to Astro's whole discography, Uptension's whole discography, Wakimake's whole discography, ITZY's whole discography, and I have a couple of one-off group albums that I'm reacting to, like B2B's For You album, and Classy's albums, and Omega X's albums. So yeah, I don't really have the time to now, but I definitely wouldn't mind reacting to more of their B-sides. But I again don't expect really the quality to be this high. And for this song itself, I think it's fine, I think it's enjoyable, but I feel like it's kind of like the bare minimum I would have expected from this album. And I'm glad that most of it is so far ahead of this. Because for me, this is like, I don't know, maybe like a 8.3 at most. It kind of feels like that, which is kind of weird considering I gave, I think, Domino an 8.2 out of 10. I'm honestly going to be changing my rating for that one to a 9 out of 10. I think it was a pretty good song. But this one is probably like an 8.3 out of 10. Still high quality. I can definitely see how people can enjoy this, and even I find aspects of it kind of interesting and catchy. But as a whole, the vibe of the song is just not for me. But yeah, we still have 2 more songs to check out, so let's get into the next song, If You Leave, in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, I like the instrumental so far. Really like the piano sound. And why is this album so good? God damn it. I love when I'm wrong like this. I thought it was gonna be so... I mean, I didn't think it was gonna be that boring, but I definitely thought it was gonna feel like a chore reacting to this album. But it's not. It does not feel like that. It's a really nice ballad, man. They're so versatile. Man, this is such a beautiful song. I love this! This is so much better than Nataka, the album. This is such a better album as a whole, man. It's like every song in this album is of the quality of 2 minus 1. The song, I mean, of that album. Ooh, that was interesting. Like, it's not only like a really good ballad, like it doesn't just sound nice, but it's also kind of creatively interesting as well. Like that little bit there where it was just them going back and forth, that was really cool and I really enjoyed that. Usually, ballads are just not really interesting to me because they're usually obviously very slow and very constantly kind of chill. So I really appreciate it whenever a ballad manages to kind of surprise me creatively like this and make itself interesting to me, even when it's like a very typical ballad. Man, this is such a beautiful song. Like, for the fans of ballad songs like this one, I think you're gonna fucking lose your mind from this song. It's so damn good. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, there's literally nothing one can pick apart about this song. It's a beautiful, perfect song. I feel like it even goes above and beyond your average ballad. Like, it's so interesting, it manages to be entertaining to me. Because I'm not the biggest fan of ballads. I've definitely grown to enjoy them, but I'm still not the biggest fan of ballads because I don't really have a situation for which they feel right to listen to in, you know? Because I've talked about it before, I did used to really love listening to like very emotional kind of songs back in like 2018, 2019 before I started my YouTube channel because I was in a very depressed state back then, so those kind of songs kind of kept me going. But ever since I did start the YouTube channel, I've been so much happier, and thus I've wanted to listen to far more energetic and fast-paced kind of songs. But I still can appreciate songs like this one, which still managed to be so interesting, even while being a ballad. Like, this still had things to surprise me with, and I really enjoy this one. And just like so many of these songs in this album, it's gonna get a 10 out of 10. I really, really liked it. And this one, honestly, is one of the songs that deserves it the most, because it's a really good song. But yeah, man, I'm so blown away by how good this album is. This is straight up the best album of the year. Genuinely. But yeah, I'm really curious to see what the final song is going to be like, Ash. So without further ado, let's get into Ash in 3, 2, 1. Even this one is going to be interesting right off the bat. Like, what the hell? Okay, so this one is still like very high quality and everything, but it's definitely one of the least interesting songs of the album so far. And just as I said that, we actually got into a kind of an interesting part of the song. I think it's gonna be a little bit of a grower. It's gonna take a little bit for me to actually like it, because I feel like it needs a couple listens to realize how good it actually is. Because on the surface it kind of comes off a little bland, but it's actually not that bad at all. Okay, so I'm a little conflicted about this song. It's not bad or anything. Like this album is fucking amazing. There's no bad song in this album. But I feel like this song is kind of weirdly safe compared to the rest of the album. Like, it has that kind of edgy side to it, and it has the autotune, which kind of reminds me of like 80s music. But I don't know, outside of the Vernon part of the song, where he sung or rapped or whatever he did, the rest of it was kind of, dare I say, boring. Like, I don't necessarily mean it with the full weight of the song, of the word, but it definitely felt less interesting or engaging than even the goddamn ballad. I even found the ballad more interesting than this. This one kind of felt, I guess, I don't know, I don't want to say forced because it doesn't come off as one of those forced songs that didn't need to exist, but I feel like this one is the one that has like the least purpose to it, the least direction behind it. It's still kind of interesting and it's better than it would have been on average, this kind of song, but I don't know, I feel like they could have done more with it. It kind of feels like it doesn't really go anywhere, it doesn't really do much. It's still not bad or anything, it's still catchy, but it's definitely the least interesting song of the album in my opinion. So yeah, in terms of a rating though, it does feel like an 8.4 out of 10, because at least I kind of am able to stomach it more than, I think it was About You, which felt a little bit too playful for me. So for me personally, this is still okay, and I'll probably end up listening to it if I end up listening to the whole album as a whole. But yeah, I feel like it's the least interesting song. And now that I think about it, this is honestly, like I said, it's very much like one of the best albums of the year, debatably the best. But I just remember that there was this other album by, what group was it? Was it Oh My Girl? I think it was, right? Yeah, it was Oh My Girl's album this year, was so damn good, just like this, where every song of the album was so different and so good, but I feel like this one might be a little bit better than that, because I feel like more of the songs with the different concepts behind them stick compared to that album, whereas I feel like some things were better than others. So yeah, I'm so impressed by how good this album is, man. I did not expect that it was gonna be even half as good as this, but so far, like, straight up every single song in this album was worth listening to, you know. It didn't feel like a waste of time. It felt like a very engaging song that I would listen to even outside of doing a reaction to it, you know. I really enjoyed this album, I really did. And please recommend me which albums of 17's sound like this, which have this kind of different sounding song for every song in the album, but all of them are still very high quality, because I would love to listen to it. But keep in mind that it's probably going to be a while until I do that, unless this video gets a lot of like views and likes and like that would make me do it sooner. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, what did you guys think about this album? Comment those down below and let's have a discussion about it. And also, before we end this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to my currently 6 patrons on Patreon: Omar Bridgman, Deadpool, August Dice, Corby Dead, Drew, and Gacha Foxy. Thank you guys for your support, I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me that you have decided to support me and have continued to support me in such a long time. Hope you continue to enjoy my content and continue to support me going forward. Thank you very much. And now, before we end this video, I just want to talk about something to you guys very quickly, which some of you may or may have not noticed before or know about me, that being the fact that I am trans. And yes, this may come as shocking to some of you, because I don't really flaunt it that much on my channel, or at least I feel like I don't. Outside of like my K-pop reactions, which is where I feel like the most comfortable being myself like this. And yeah, I am in fact trans. I'm not necessarily full-on male to female, but I heavily want to transition to being pretty female. I do consider myself more non-binary though, or maybe gender fluid would be the best descriptor as well, because I do have occasional moments where I feel fine being like just a normal guy, but most of the time, like right now, I do feel very dysphoric. And that's why I'm asking you guys for any help that you can give me, because my situation right now, I don't really see any way outside of you guys' help. Because, and this is gonna be kept short and concise, I live with my parents. They're never going to accept me as a trans person. They just never will. And as a matter of fact, back when I started the YouTube channel, I was actually kind of slightly starting my transition back then, with like starting to grow out my hair. I even got to DIY HRT, but because my parents started noticing certain things, like my behavior had changed a lot and my clothes had changed a lot, I kind of had to stop doing that, because they were constantly nagging me about cutting my hair, and just started to kind of be threatening in a certain way, and felt like they were ashamed of me and everything. And that just kind of stress just tired me out to the point where I just gave up. But as dysphoria goes, it just doesn't go away, you know. I still feel like this, and in fact, it's somewhat been intensifying again recently, so I just wanted to share this with you guys. And again, I would really appreciate any amount of support you can give me in regards to this, because I just don't see any way out of this. Because even if I moved out of my parents' house and got myself a job and everything, that's just not gonna work for long-term planning, because once I transition, it's like I probably will not be able to get myself a job, because my country is very transphobic. Nobody gives a shit about LGBT people at all. So there's not even much I can do even in terms of transitioning here. So yeah, I don't know. I just would appreciate any amount of support you can give me, be it monetarily or in any way otherwise. And this is not about boosting my channel or anything, or guilt tripping you with my sob story. I just wanted to get this off my chest and make my subscribers aware of the situation that I am in, and that I would appreciate anything that you guys can help me out with. It would mean literally everything. Like, for example, a friend that I made after starting this YouTube channel, my good friend Yuri, has been helping me out a lot. And I genuinely might have not been here if it wasn't for him showing up and befriending me. So yeah, this just went a little bit longer than I intended, but I would just really appreciate anything you can support me with. That's kind of ultimately what I'm trying to say. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe. Also, check out the description to my Twitter if you want to follow me over there, and to my Wattpad where I post my stories, because in addition to doing all these videos on my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you don't enjoy my stories or simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to my Patreon or to my Ko-fi account, where you can pledge support and help get the channel going, help support me so I can keep writing the stories you enjoy. But if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and especially sharing this video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. And I think it's pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!